I've become one with my chair. I just walked 6 miles without stopping for the first time probably in my entire life. Which is kind of crazy to think about because it's just walking. But we don't do that much, do we? One time, actually, I've been thinking about doing this for a while because my commute home from work is 6 miles, and I get a ride there in the morning, and then the person who drives me to work doesn't get off work until a couple of hours after I want to go home. So I'm just kind of stuck either taking public transit, which is fine, or having somebody else pick me up, which happens a lot of the time, or waiting, or walking. And I've told people before that I wanted to walk, and they were like, oh, come on, we'll pick you up, like, you can take public transit, it'll be fine, you don't have to do that. But why is that such a big deal? Like, why? Evolutionarily, we were built to walk long distances. That's why we ended up on 2 legs. That's why we're built the way we are. And we've just totally lost that. I know a lot of you avid hikers are like rolling your eyes at me, but seriously, the majority of people, at least in America, have just stopped walking. We have all of these other forms of transit, public transportation, bicycles, cars, all of this stuff, skateboards. I used to date a guy who hated walking. He would do anything not to walk. He would ride his longboard next to me so he didn't have to walk. Which I thought was so funny. I wanted to go on walks sometimes just for the sake of walking, and he was like, can we take something with wheels? It was kind of ridiculous. But the first thing I noticed was that my boots, that have always been waterproof in the past, decided not to be waterproof today. Second thing I noticed was my shoulders started to hurt, weirdly enough, which I think is because I slouch so much at work. I hunch over like this a lot of the time at my computer, just like a gremlin. Ugh, I should sit up more. But anyway, so my shoulders started hurting, and then my left foot hurt a little bit, my right calf hurt a little bit, but all of that went away. And then I had to pee. My phone died. I was not prepared. Jeans, actually, they say they're not a good thing to hike in the rain with. However, if you're wearing them, they get wet, and then it stops raining. They actually dry surprisingly fast if you're still wearing them. Anyway, I think I'm going to try to do that every once in a while. Walk my way home from work, preferably when I don't have a heavy backpack. I didn't today. That's part of why I wanted to do this today. Instead of later when I had a whole bunch of food I was taking home from work or something. But it wasn't that hard. People act like it would be so difficult to walk 6 miles, or walk any number of miles, really. People, like, Cody's a rideshare driver. He drives people several blocks all the time. Like 3 blocks that they don't want to walk. I think that's hilarious. Understandable, but hilarious. And I don't know why we discourage each other from walking. If someone says, how are you getting home from work? And you say, I'm going to walk. They're like, what? Don't you just take the bus? I'm like, I don't want to. We should all start walking more. it'd be really good for our society to walk more. I actually think there are some cities, I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but cities that are pedestrian only past a certain point, like the city center itself is all just pedestrian only, which I think is a really cool idea, because then you don't have the issues of well, obviously the danger issues of having so many people in a tight space that are pedestrians and then cars too, but the air quality is better and you don't have so much traffic. I feel like you would actually get places faster if you weren't necessarily trying to drive there and park in the city. You don't have to pay for parking. There's a lot of benefits to that, I think. I don't know.